Georgia, thank you very much for making the time for doing this. I really admire the way you've been doing this program, and I'm honored to be your coach. I'm guiding you in this. So I just want you to ask you some questions about your experience with this program, the Thinking into Result program. So let me ask you this: How has the Thinking into Result program contributed to noticeable changes in your personal or maybe your professional development? What would you say about that?
Well, it came into my life when I really needed some direction. So it was really good timing. It's helped me to realize what sort of person that I wanted to be and where I wanted to go with my life in a personal way and in a professional way as well with my career. And it's shown me how to achieve that. I think it would. I don't know if I'd be where I am now if I hadn't had the course, because it sort of directed my thoughts. I've gotten to know myself a lot better and to discover who I am really and exactly what I want, to find out what's important to me, and not just sort of, because I already had businesses on the go, but it's sort of helped me not to just carry on the treadmill and just keep going because everything's okay, but just getting a bit bored with it and just carrying on. So that's it. It's made me stop and think a lot. It's made me reevaluate what I want from the rest of my life, really. And to also to see a goal that maybe before was just a wish and like, yeah, wouldn't that be nice, but immediately dismiss it thinking, who do you think you are to think you could do that? But to actually, where I am now is to still see that goal, but to believe now that I can achieve it. And a big thing for me has been to come to believe that I'm worthy and I deserve whatever I want, the goals that I want, what I want out of life, that I can get that, and that I deserve to have it. That's been a big thing for me, and I've realized that the more I believe that of myself, the more I can have.
So that you consider that like it's a growth. You are growing as a person because of this.
Hugely, yes, very much so. That it's sort of made me see where I needed to make changes, and why I needed to make those changes, not just in my professional life, but in my personal life too, in me as a person. So it's sort of it's encompassed everything, because I think when I went into it, I kind of thought it would be just more for my professional life, my career, but actually it's been both. And now I realize that it's got to be both. It's got to be from me, because otherwise nothing else is going to happen.
Right. So what would you say are the significant new results that you have achieved, or maybe important decisions that you have made so far?
Okay, well, to go after my goals, exactly what I want. And also, as I have progressed through the course, I've realized that the goals that I thought I wanted at the beginning weren't actually what I wanted. They weren't necessarily the C goals. So now I'm progressing and reaching for goals that I really, really am passionate about. And another thing is, I've been able to stop considering how other people view my decisions, not in an arrogant way, but just in a, more thinking about what's best for me. So I don't worry so much about what other people will think. I just do it for me. I think a big decision, a big change that it's brought for me is that not about 6 months before, no, about 7 months before I started the course, I'd come out of a very long-term relationship, and I was quite lost, and I didn't really know what the future held. But this has really given me just a new lease on life, and a full life, and looking forward to things and being happier than I ever thought I would be on my own. And it's because that I have just me to focus on. I can just focus on my goals. And that's a real blessing, because I only have to think about myself. And I didn't imagine I could be happy just on my own, but it's shown me that I can, because I have such a full life now. Yeah, and something that you'd said made a big difference to me. I can't remember which lesson it was, but maybe it was the one about self-image, and you said, be the person who has already reached the goal. And that made a big impact on me, because I thought, that's true. I'm not, I need to be that person now, not like think, well, when I've reached the goal, I'll be like this, or I'll do this, or I'll change this about myself. But actually, what I need to have been doing is living as if I'm that person now. So like, if I've got habits I want to change, or just my everyday life, now it revolves around the person I'm gonna be when I've already reached the goal. So that made a big impact on me, that you telling me that.
Yeah, actually, you're talking about that some challenges that you were facing before, and maybe some new challenges that you're going to face in your new direction that you have taken. Can you elaborate a little bit more about those challenges that you were facing before the Thinking into the Soul program, and maybe some of the solutions? You always talk about it, but if those solutions, like in the lesson that you mentioned, it's you can attribute that to the experience of doing this program of Thinking into Resolve, right? So can you elaborate a little bit more about what were those challenges?
Well, I think, I've already mentioned this. I'd gone through a very big life change, probably the biggest in my life that I have up to now. And I felt very directionless. I didn't even like to think about the future, because I couldn't imagine one, really, definitely not a good one. And I was sort of, with my business, I was just going through the motions. It was sort of, a lot of it was running itself. But I'd sort of lost heart, really, lost a lot of interest in it. But now I think what it's done is it's given me something to work for. And now I'm excited about the future. I love thinking about the future. In fact, in my meditations every day, I imagine my future again, and it's a really good one. So I think it's just, and it's given me more focus, because what I found hard was, all of a sudden I had a lot more responsibility than I'd had before. I had a house to take care of. I've never taken care of a house by myself before. I had my business to run, and lots of other things. I'd moved countries and everything. And so I think my days were a bit fractured. I had a lot to do, and I'd do this and I'd do a bit of that, and I'd work on my business for a bit, but it never seemed enough. And what this has done is it's given me structure, so that I know that every day I'm working towards something definite, not just keeping the wheels turning, not just keeping things running, but I'm actually progressing. Whereas before I just felt like, well, you know, at the end of the day, well, okay, things are still going, it's okay. But now I feel like, yeah, I've accomplished something. I feel good at the end of the day, and I wake up in the morning really looking forward to the day.
Yeah, I think just feeling that new person with new hopes and doing things, definitely we can consider that like a result, because sometimes we say that results are something physical or something that it's materialized in front of us, but just the feeling that you're in the right path, you're doing the right thing, and the feeling, as you mentioned, that you are happy now every day. It's a good result,
Yeah,
a good
it's
outcome,
huge.
right?
Yeah. Yes, yes. And actually, I thought of another thing as well, was progressing towards my goal, because I'm still, obviously, I'm keeping my businesses going, but the goal that I'm going for is completely different. So I've progressed with that, where I've got a website set up for this new business, this new idea. I've got some social media accounts set up, and I work on them every day. And I'm writing 2 books at the moment to do with that. And I'm sort of, I'd say, halfway through one and about a third of the way through the other one. So these are things that I do every day, because a couple of lessons ago, it was about the belief, you know, like your the praxis. No, that was last lesson. And realizing that my actions showed my true beliefs, my deep-seated beliefs. That also made a big difference. It made me rethink quite a few things, as to, you know, saying that, well, yeah, I can do this, or I'll do this, but actually wasn't actually doing anything about it. So it showed that I didn't. So that was really helpful.
That's great. So yeah, you've been doing amazing job, amazing changes. So what would be your recommendations to people who have yet to undergo this program and really to benefit of this kind of coaching? What would you say?
Okay, well, I've done in my life. I love reading. I like learning. I've taken a lot of courses, but I've never taken one with a coach before. This is the first time I have, and to be honest, it's made all the difference. It's just like a whole different ball game, and it's not just that you're able to answer questions, but it's the support as well. And it's somebody to share my wins with, and to cheer me on, and who thinks the same as I do, because we're talking about the same material, on my wavelength. And I think that actually, as I was thinking about this before, I thought it's probably the best gift I've ever given myself is doing this course, because although it sounds quite dramatic, it has been life-changing. It really has. And I haven't even finished the course yet, but so far it has been life-changing for me. It's been fabulous. So I would say to anybody considering it, don't think about it. Don't think yourself out of it. Just go for it, because you just will not regret taking this course, especially with Robert.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's an experience that I have had before as well. Working with coaches, it's a huge difference, and because you feel
Yeah, massive.
you're with someone, you're sharing, And we are gregarious people, so we like to share whatever we're thinking, whatever we think our souls. So yeah, that's amazing, Georgia. Well, I thank you for your time. Thank you for giving these words to me, to us, and we'll see you in the next lesson. I think next week, right?
Yes, next week. Yeah.